have the connect the dots, both color by numbers, and everything else done. Because you're going to have another worksheet tomorrow, and I'm sorry for that, but it is life. I have a ton of things to pass back to you. When I get done rambling, I will pass all these back. So if one of those needs to fix something or whatever. Last period, I got a little overwhelmed with the amount of paper, but that's not your fault. It's my fault for being absent and needing all this stuff from you. So it is okay. I will put my. I'm not going to say that I'm on YouTube now. Okay. Moving on. So you had your bell ringers. I want to talk about. I'm going to go all the way back to Tuesday because I was here on Monday. So on Tuesday. Oh my goodness. Maggie, wait, can I just use yours? Yes. On Tuesday, you had a bell ringer. And I love Maggie because she tries her bell ringers every day. That's why I picked hers. It made me feel good. It's a geometry question. So if you didn't know how to do Tuesdays, there's a reason you've not had geometry yet. We can still figure it out there, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. It says that we have the line y equals 3x plus 4. So I know it goes through, we'll say about here. We'll say it's that steep. Again, I am not being picky with it. I'm trying to figure this out quickly, so I'm not spending all day graphing that line. And then they said, which of the following describes the transformation of the line parallel with a y-intercept of -3. So my green line is parallel to my orange line. What is the equation for my green line? Y equals what? 3x minus 3. Okay, they have to have the same slope because they're parallel, but it has a different intercept, so that's why that changed. Okay, and I know you don't know these words because you've not had geometry again, but you do have common sense. You know what rotate sounds like things rotate on the clock. You know that reflect sounds like you've looked in a mirror before. And then translate is when we seriously move something left, right, up, or down. So what happened from the orange line to the green line? Did they reflect, did they rotate, or did they translate? Did they reflect like it's a mirror image? Did they just take the line, move it up and down, left or right, which is translate? Or did they rotate it around like a clock? I think translate as well. And so now we've got to decide. Our options are either C or D. Did they translate? Because they picked up that orange line and they moved it down. How many did they move it down is the real question. They moved it down 7 because from 4 to 0, that was 4 units, and then they went down 3 more. So they moved a total of 7. So the answer is D. Okay, yesterday's Maggie has her graph, perfect. She's figured out the answer to number 2. Her answer is correct, but she didn't show me any math on the paper. Can someone help me add some math to the paper? What is this called? The 10 to the 7th. What is that called? Okay, so I know this sounds dumb, and I don't know what you did on Monday. Let's face it, I don't remember Monday. She wrote down this. On Monday, I think I talked about this. What do you do when you're dividing with your exponents? You subtract them. So I need to figure out what that is. But when you subtract 8 minus 6, it ends up being 10 squared. So you could have used rules of exponents rather than doing what Maggie did, where she actually moved it over and put it in standard form. You don't have to put it in standard form. You can use your rules of exponents and leave it in scientific notation. Okay, well then let me show you. I know Maggie really well. This is what Maggie did for yesterday. She did 5, 0, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that'd be 25,000, and then you divided that by 5? Is that what you did? I think so too, and that's how you got 25 divided by 5 is 5, so that's how you got D? Is this the math you did? Okay, it's what, well, I bet y'all did the same, we would hope. Okay, that's great, that'll always work, there's an easier way. So, if I leave it in scientific notation, what's 2.504 divided by 5? .08. So I didn't do all the stuff she did of moving the decimals over. I see 508. I would have guessed D anyway, and mine's way faster. I leave things in scientific notation. You don't have to put them back in standard form unless it tells you to. Okay, so saying all that, say, look, Friday has another scientific notation one. I bet you need to use some rule of exponents to figure this out. Keep in mind, scientific notation has a specific rule that there can only be one number in front of the decimal. So I know B is out. There can only be one number in front of the decimal. You didn't know that. Okay, so today's, I know you wrote beautiful things, but did anyone in their justification response use a rule of exponents? Can I see yours? Can I see yours? Yeah. Go ahead and put a look. I can roll with this real quickly. Okay. Ashanti kind of did. He did what I wanted down here at the bottom. He said 2 over 4 reduces to 1 over 2. 10 to the third minus 10 to the fifth. You get 10 to the negative 2, so he punished it and put it in the denominator. 10 squared would be 2, so 2 times 10 squared would be 200. 1 over 200 is 0.05. That's beautiful. This is what we were looking for today. He would get all the points. If you did not use a rule of exponent, you would not be getting all the points. Okay. But he also did it the old school long way up at the top, where he did 2,000 divided by 400,000. He reduced that to 1 over 200, and he also got 0.05. So even if you were thinking Ashanti wouldn't get all the points, he would. He did both ways. Are there any questions about the math he did here? I'm really impressed he came up with this. Third period looked at me like I was crazy when I was doing it. Okay, Lynn, I need to fix something else because I've lied to you at one point. Don't you hate it when math teacher lies? What's the one thing I said we can never have in the exponent? Never, ever, ever have a... Never leave it as a negative exponent. That is not always true. It is not true when we're dealing with scientific notation. In scientific notation, instead of writing it like this, we would have done 1/2 times 10 to the negative 2. Specifically in scientific notation, we allow for negative exponents. And you would say, Ms. Compton, why is there an exception to this rule? And here's why. Because if we have like 5 times 10 to the third, or 5 times 10 to the negative third, scientific notation is really just telling you which way to move my decimal. If it's a positive exponent, it's telling me move it to the right, so I'd end up getting 5,000. If it's a negative exponent, it's telling me move my exponent to the left. 1, 2, 3. So I would get 0.005. So we allow negative exponents in scientific notation because it's telling us to move the decimal to the right or to the left. Like we allow it. So there is an exception to our rule, I'm sorry to say. Okay, all that being said, thank you. I don't know what I'm doing, and then you need your thing back. This is yours. Are there any questions on any of the bell ringers from the week? I'm sorry we did them all in one day. Pretty much. Then I have a little handout for you on FOIL, which seems silly because everyone in the room knows how to FOIL at this point, which is why I'm going to say I'm only going to do one example and one example only. There are 4 more on this paper. It's your job to handle those today. I'm only going to do 4 of these problems, and then it's just get caught up on whatever else I'm doing in front of you. It's only 4 new problems. Many people are messing up on the multiplying binomials color by number. Here it is on the screen. Most people are missing, if they miss something, they miss problem number 9 or problem number 10. Are there any guesses as to why 9 and 10 are the most missed? What's different? Yes? There's a number in front of the x. Everyone in the room is doing first is x squared. They got 1 through 8 done perfect. I had some people in 3rd period not combining the like terms, so their answers aren't complete. You don't want to be doing that. But when I do first, I should do 2x times 3x, and I end up getting 6x squared. I can't tell you how many 63x's I have for the first. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with 9 and 10. I don't know why suddenly when there's a number in front, you're making FOIL more complicated. FOIL is fun. You heard me explain yesterday, it only works when there's 2 binomials. If you try to use it any other time, you won't be able to find a first, outer, inner, last. It's not possible. Okay, so the one example I'm going to do is really spread out for some reason. So it says to do the first. What would be the first term in these binomials? Okay, and when you multiply them, you get, this is what I'm talking about, 6x squared. You should be worried, man. Okay, so that's the first. Then the outer, who do I multiply? Okay, and then what do you get for the outer? Negative 15x. Thank you, Oregon. Okay, and then the inner, we get 8x. Thank you. And then the last, and you get, okay. So, yes. So first, outer, inner, last. I don't know why they spread it out. I guess to prove it to you one last time. When we put all these together, we would get 6x squared minus 15x plus 8x minus 20. But you do not get all of your points yet. Why is that? Let's combine the like terms. The middle 2 terms can combine, and what would we get? Positive or negative? Negative 7x minus 20. So what happens, and the reason people keep not getting perfect scores and stuff, you can multiply like nobody's business, but you're not being careful with your signs. You knew negative 15 plus positive 8 is negative 7, but you wrote positive 7. And I mean, and I counted wrong on the whole thing, then be careful with your signs. Is there anyone in the room who's confused on FOIL? You're understanding that I'm going to abandon you again tomorrow. So if you have a question on multiplying, adding, or subtracting, now would be like the prime time. Miss Compton, I'm stuck on number 3. Miss Compton, I have no idea how to do number 9. Okay, then all you really have to do today, besides all the other junk you owe me, is the bottom 4 on this paper. I don't care if you ask your group. I don't care. Just get it done.